we started this journey, we told you it was going to be trying, it was going to be tough, but you endured because it's about us. That man next to you is a dog. That man next to you is somebody who wants this thing. We ain't got tomorrow. We got now. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more. Give me my theme music.
Y'all, I'm coming, and I'm finally here. So next time you put my name in your mouth, make sure you finish that sentence with defending national champion.
Heading into year 2031 of this online dynasty, Colorado sits on top of the mountain. We've now got the biggest target on our back. Our goal is obviously to repeat, but I'm making this season a lot more challenging. This year, Colorado has elected to go independent and put every single user on our schedule. If we can't repeat as national champions, then we'll be gifting a random commenter in the chat with some free Colorado swag. If everyone watching this subscribes to me, I hit my goals, and it would mean the world. Leave a comment down below, and let's see how Coach Clay and these Colorado Buffaloes hold up for the new 2031 football season. Breaking news! It's been reported that national championship quarterback Shedeur Sanders has suffered a season-ending knee injury during training camp. Unfortunately, he will miss majority of this season. Fortunately for Coach Clay, in his last recruiting class, he was able to land the #1 athlete, Danny Jackson. Initially slated to be a wideout, Jackson will take the reins as the Buffalo's new starting quarterback, replacing the injured Shedeur Sanders. Heading into our first matchup of the year, the SMU coach from last season demanded we rematched. In the debut season of our new QB1, the true freshman Danny Jackson starts off pretty shaky on the road. Kid's got a cannon. With our Heisman running back going pro, the new starter is Dwayne Johnson. The best part about him, he's physical, he's fast, and he's 6'6". Yeah, you heard me right. On the other side, preseason pundits project the Buffalo's defense to be the best in the nation, especially our secondary. Hunter picks this off and takes it back to the house for our first pick 6 of the season. If that wasn't enough, our newest freshman defensive back gets some early burn and takes this back to the crib as well. This secondary prided themselves in making sure every pass was challenged. I mean, look at how this defense gets into the backfield and puts 3 to 4 hats on the back. And the best part, we're bringing that same level of physicality. Following in the footsteps of his predecessor, Dwayne Johnson not only is our starting halfback, he's also our starting return man, as he houses 2 returns in this game. But SMU wouldn't go down quietly. They'd get their first deep bomb of the game that would ultimately set up this punch up the middle. While we couldn't finish the shutout, we are heading into next week with some momentum as Danny Jackson connect for his first deep bomb that puts the Buffaloes back on the board. Colorado will move to 1-0 to start off the season. Going into week number 4, we're matched up against an old foe who now coaches at Toledo on the road, and Coach Clay calls Danny Jackson's number for the deep bomb. And this little freshman put it right on the money for an 80-yard touchdown to the true sophomore Whitworth. This Toledo offense would struggle to move the ball against Colorado, as their drive first resulted in an interception to linebacker senior Colin Busacco. Toledo's offense could not breathe. In fact, on this crucial 3rd down, the Buffaloes sent a blitz up the middle and destroyed their quarterback. It would only go downhill for these Toledo Rockets. Back on the defense, senior Corey Slaughter came up with this interception and joined in on the fun. This would give Colorado a 24-point lead. This secondary would finish with 7 picks. Travis Hunter accounting for these 2 right here. But of course, the game couldn't end without the battering ram Dwayne Johnson punching it up the middle, pushing Colorado to 2 2-0 for the season. Heading into week 5, we're going up against the coach at Miami of Ohio. This is a high-potent offense user, so if our secondary isn't careful, this may become a shootout. I'm not gonna lie, Danny Jackson struggled early on the road. This defense got in his head, picked this off, and gave Miami of Ohio prime field position. And to be expected, they capitalized on our mistakes and were the first on the board. On the other side, Danny Jackson tries to find a Dwayne Johnson on a deep throw, but underthrows him badly. However, the defense, like they've done since we've arrived at Colorado, fails us with a turnover of our own. Travis Hunter is quickly becoming the nation's top cornerback. Johnson, who would find the outside and finally put the Buffaloes on the board. Tied, ball game, momentum still in question. The senior Mark Flesh comes up with the turnover, turns on the Jets, and dances his way to the end zone, giving us our first lead of the night. Further in the game, Jackson starts finding his confidence. This sets up a score for our first lead of the night. And the play that would seal the game is this forced fumble picked up by the linebacker, senior Kyle Hazen, who scoops and scores. The Buffaloes will now move to 3-0 for the season. Week 6, we've got another user matchup as we host the Ohio State University. Ohio State recently received transfer student RG3, who leads this Bucks offense. Late in the first quarter, Danny Jackson gets the ball to Dwayne Johnson on a screen play, and his speed is too much to handle. Johnson follows a few blockers and will house this for a 65-yard touchdown, giving Colorado their first lead of the night. Back on offense, Jackson pulls off his best Peyton Manning impression. He calls a few check downs at the lean, getting the user to switch, and once he sees the switch, they're off to the races. The sophomore speedster Whitworth follows a few blocks, gets to the open field, and is gone. On the next offensive drive, Johnson comes downhill. He's so elusive and physical. This Colorado offense would not be denied. They would put up 42 points in the first half alone. The final nail in the coffin is this incredible run where Johnson eludes 7 defenders for his 5th score of the night. Your Colorado Buffaloes will remain undefeated on the season, moving to 4-0. Another user matchup going into week 7 on the road against Coastal Carolina. Coastal possesses one of the best air raid offenses in the dynasty, but the Buffaloes came out red hot as Jackson would squeeze this between 2 defenders, setting up this easy dump off, getting on the board first. But Coastal would respond as this air raid offense would drive back up the field. They find a lot of their success spreading the field and making everyone a threat. Unfortunately, Jackson wasn't immune from the road struggles, throwing the ball in triple coverage. Coastal would capitalize on that mistake as their senior Nathan Adams beats Travis Hunter and runs untouched into the end zone. Closing drive of the first half, the Buffalo defense comes up with a huge turnover. Senior Kyle Hazen weaves between defenders and returns this for a pick 6. But the theme of the night, Travis Hunter getting beat over the top. Coastal will get yet another successful deep bomb, tying the game back up. But this is the play that changed the game. It doesn't look like much, but Johnson showed Coach Clay they couldn't stop our run game. Colorado would ultimately score and get back the lead. But Coastal Carolina had other plans. They'd convert on the most important 3rd down of the game, which allowed them to tie the ball game back up. Season on the line on our own 32-yard line, Coach Clay decided to go for it on a 4th down and 1. Fortunately, he's rewarded. With 40 seconds left in the game, Coach Clay calls Johnson's number yet again. Johnson gets to the 2nd level, weaves between tackles, and is gone. Not wanting to leave too much time on the clock, he wisely dives inside the 5, which sets up this final play of the game where the Buffaloes punch it in. Colorado escapes on the road, remaining undefeated, and moves to 5-0 for the season. Week number 8 is upon us, and the last 2 national champion winners are back at it. South Carolina, Colorado, number 6, number 1. First drive of the game, Lamar Jackson finds his deep threat, senior Brian Malone, for a 62-yard score. The Buffaloes would respond with their deep threat. Dwayne Johnson gets over the top, and it's a foot race, 67 yards to the house. But these Gamecock wideouts are tough, snagging over 2 All-American Colorado defenders. Colorado's got to figure out how to contain the fastest wide. Outroom in All-America, South Carolina Carolina's gonna have to figure out how to solve Dwayne Johnson as he continues showing he's a terror on offense. On a crucial 3rd down and 47, yeah, you read that right. Jackson throws up a 50-50 ball to the freshman David Williams, who comes down with it. That sets up yet another touchdown for Johnson, who's elevating himself into Heisman conversations. But here come the Gamecocks. Jackson stares down his target, allowing the defense to jump the route and run it back inside the red zone. The Gamecocks would finish the drive with 6. However, on the other side, Mama! There goes that man. 91 yards to the house to extend the lead. But Lamar Jackson wasn't finished. 98 yards. Y'all, I'm not joking. This is the fast wide-out room in the league. If that wasn't bad enough, Jackson throws his 3rd pick for the game and 2nd pick 6. Now, the Buffs have to score a touchdown to win. It's moments like this where superstars are born. Danny Jackson drives up the field with perfect precision, but it all comes down to this 3rd down play. Jackson lays it over 2 defenders and finds Johnson at the pylon, which seals the game. The Buffaloes take down number 6 South Carolina and move to 6-0 for the season. The only coach to beat us 3 times in a row is the head coach at Georgia. This week, 9 matchup makes or breaks our season. So let's start this off right by giving it to our Heisman front runner to pound the football in. Buffs on the board first. On the other side, Coach Clay made an intentional effort to make sure the defense sent a message early on. Nothing easy, everything earned. Not deviating much from the gameplay, we keep pounding that rock. Only on this instance, Johnson finds the outside, and it's a foot race. Nobody's catching that man. But this Georgia team has athletes of their own. Check out this one-handed interception in stride that put the Bulldogs at the 1-yard line. But talk about a defensive stand. Instead of tying up the game, the Bulldogs cough up the football. Colorado would drive the field to set up this score, and the nail in the coffin came from none other than Travis Hunter. The Buffaloes would leave Athens moving to 7-0. This is the final head-to-head matchup between Coach Clay and Coach Ant Bell Jr., and they put on a show. Opening drive, Danny Jackson came out red hot. Coach Clay tried to get his legs involved in the offense early and often, which ultimately capped off the drive with a score. On the other side, the Bearcats would respond. Coach Ant has really grown as a play caller, as he always had a response for Coach Clay's adjustments. But if there's one thing you can't game plan for, it's the menace known as DYNASTY Johnson. In fact, on the following offensive possession, Johnson put the Heisman voters on notice with this play right here. A simple draw play for 55 yards, giving Colorado a 2-possession lead. But the Bearcats would respond as Cincy lays it over the top of our secondary. The best part of our defense struggled on the road as yet another Cincy wide receiver breaks loose to tie the ball game back up 21-all. But Danny Jackson, cool as ice, finds senior Nicholas Waugh, who gives the Buffaloes back the lead. 4th quarter, 13 seconds left. The Buffaloes get beat underneath on the game-winning play. All-American Travis Hunter makes the play we need. Colorado escape on the road and move to 9-0 for the season. You need to understand something about this matchup. The head coach at FSU came into this dynasty 5 seasons ago. He saw my stream, thought I was soft, and entered the league to beat me. Needless to say, every time I see him, it's personal. And Colorado came out hot, scoring 21 unanswered points in the first quarter. But the story was this defense. Watch as Coach Clay literally predicts the FSU play calls.
If you run that counter, I'm a murk him. I'm a murk him. Don't do it. If you run that, yeah, switch it up. Switch it up. Yup. Send him up the middle. Send him up the middle. Don't scare me. Oh my God. Sit. Score people down.
On the other side, Dwayne Johnson could not be contained as he breaks to the outside for the easy score. On the other side, FSU's offense, even with their Heisman hopeful halfback, could not get anything going. The senior Mark Flesh would pick this off, setting up yet another Dwayne Johnson in the open field score. Buffaloes up by almost 50, and the final nail in the coffin is this coverage sack that resulted in a fumble where senior Michael Alexander would scoop and score. Colorado would remain unbeaten in the regular season, taking down the number 2 team in the dynasty. After remaining undefeated, we're back in the national championship game against number 2 Notre Dame. As these two titans prepare to clash, rumors begin circulating as leaks reveal that schools have been soliciting the services of Coach Clay. In the opening drive, Jackson isn't afraid of the bright lights. He dots Curtis Reed along the sideline as the Buffs strike first. However, Notre Dame would punch back. This halfback finished third in Heisman voting, and it's pretty obvious why. With the best backfield duo in the nation, they'd finish off the drive, tying up the ball game. This Notre Dame defense would adjust, which resulted in a huge interception late into the first half. But the defense of Colorado would also respond, forcing a huge fumble, giving us back the ball. Jackson would find Spencer Banks on a 29-yard completion up the middle that gives Dwayne Johnson an easy punch up the gut to score. Up 3 scores, the game wouldn't be complete without the iconic Travis Hunter interception that would end the game and for the first time in school history make them back-to-back national champions. This would also be Coach Clay's 6th title in this dynasty. But let's go down to the field and hear what he has to say.
Your newest national champion winners for the 2031 season. And we are embarking on being the winningest coach in this entire dynasty. I could not do it without the supporters that claim players on this team. I could not have done it without the incredible support of the folks in the stream. Y'all, we are your Alpha League 2031 national champion. I'm on my Nick Saban stuff today, bro. I'm on my Nick Saban stuff today. Now, what the coaching carousel holds for us, I don't know. But we'll find out in the offseason. It's been a fun journey. Clay Munity, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I cannot wait to see where this next chapter takes us, or if we decide to run it back again next season with this same Colorado Buffalo squad. And either way, I'll see y'all on the next one.
If you'd like to see other series where we've rebuilt bad teams in this online dynasty, click on this link right here for more, and don't forget to subscribe for more content.